Hello, my name is Martin Hendry and I'm Professor of Astrophysics at the University of Glasgow, where I'm also the head of the School of Physics and Astronomy. For me, the chances are that there is alien life out there somewhere in the universe. If we really are the only life in our universe, then, as a famous scientist called Carl Sagan once put it, if that really were true, it would be an awful waste of space. And I think I have to agree with them. We think there's something like 200,000 million stars in our galaxy alone, and many of those stars we're now beginning to discover have planets of their own. Now, we haven't found any planets that bear life like us, but we have begun to find planets which potentially could have life like us, because the planets are in what we call the Goldilocks zone. That means they're in the right place in those star systems to allow liquid water to exist. So I guess in the future we might be able to study those planets in more detail and perhaps even to detect the signatures of life like us. And of course there could be life based on other sorts of chemistry, very different from life like us. But if you go looking for life based on oxygen and water and carbon dioxide, then we're already starting to find some places where life like that could exist. So my own view is that somewhere out there, really I think there's bound to be life elsewhere in our universe. Now, does that mean that there's intelligent life out there? That's a bigger question. I think there's every chance that within the next 20 years, we will be in a position to send human beings to Mars. Now, whether we choose to do it is another question. It would be costly. I suppose spread over a period of 20 years, maybe the cost isn't so much compared with some of the other things that we spend money on. And I suppose the drivers as to whether or not it happens are not just about the science, but also the technology that would be developed. If you look back to the time of the Apollo program, then sure, much of it was politically driven to get there before the Russians did. But the Americans along the way developed a lot of very useful technology. They developed everything from non-stick frying pans, the Teflon material that was used for the heat shields, to microprocessor technology, which ultimately would find its way into the calculators and computers that we now just take for granted. So I think the justification for sending humans to Mars, well, to be honest, we could learn a lot about Mars by just continuing to send robots. But I think the technology that could flow from mounting a human mission to Mars would have many spin-off rewards beyond just what we would learn about the red planet itself.
I applied for an advertisement in the Times newspaper and didn't get the job.